Okay. Well, hi everybody. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Brie Westhaver. I am in Victoria, where home office is, and I've been with Epicure 4 years now, and I've been a leader about 3 years. So I am here to share about social media, but more specifically, because social media is a very broad topic, more specifically, how to run an effective VIP group and to do it from a place of love and contribution, because ultimately that's really what has VIP groups and social media be effective, in my humble opinion. So I've actually been working my business virtually for about 3 years now. So even before the pre-pandemic, my twins will turn 2 next month, and I had a pretty difficult pregnancy with them, so I wasn't able to work outside of the house, and so I moved everything virtually, like pretty much almost 2.5 years ago, I'd say. And I've been working on social media since then. So it wasn't a huge pivot for me when the pandemic hit, but it definitely is definitely still a learning curve. So my VIP group I've been running my VIP group since I started my business. So since before it was cool to have VIP groups, I had a VIP group. um, so I've had a VIP group for like since I started. And one thing I really love about VIP groups and what I want to talk about is the opportunity that VIP groups are to build and create community amongst your customer base, as well as for those of you who have teams, as well as an opportunity to train and develop your team. So I have a few points I want to touch on. And like I said, we're going to do Q&A after this. But my intention really is to leave you with some tools and some insights on how to run your group effectively. And if you already have an effective group, then maybe some tips and tricks for what you could do differently that might increase your engagement or increase your sales. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about social funnels. So one thing I get asked quite often is, well, Brie, what's the difference between a business page and a group? Because I'm new, what should I have? What should I focus on? And social media is a huge rabbit hole you can go down. There's so many things you could focus on. And the thing that's going to have you be effective and start to grow is focus on one thing at a time. So you have an option of a page, you have the option of a group, and I'm just going to kind of differentiate for you what those are. So you have to think of your page, if you have one, is like if you're walking down a mall and you see a whole bunch of stores. A page is like the storefront. So are you called to walk into that store because what you see at the storefront? So a page is a storefront, usually has some advertising, gives you a snapshot of what's offered, and that's kind of gives you a sense. Same on social media, because it's public, people will see it, they might scroll past it. Same kind of concept. Your group is like when people walk into your store. So somebody's walked into your store, you're going to start as, if you're in retail, you're going to develop a relationship with that person. You're probably going to ask if you can help them or ask if they need suggestions. So a group is an opportunity to have conversations and build relationships with people. And I think that's, for me, partly why I really love VIP groups, because that's why I got into direct sales, was the whole relationship and community building piece is really important to me. And that's kind of what you can do in groups. Why you want a group is to build a community and ultimately not sales. So there's a mindset piece that I always invite people into, is that you have to think about your group as a customer care portion of your business. It is not intended to get you sales. Sales will be an outcome of running an effective group, but sales should not be the focus of why you have a VIP group. If you have a group to get sales, people will leave your group, they will not stay, and you will not have a business that grows. So like I said, I've had my group almost basically 4 years. I've been intentionally building it for the last 3 years when I moved to social media. And I now have over 1,000 people in my group. So that's, again, not something that happens overnight. You cultivate it through multiple channels. And I'm going to talk about how I've done that to give you some ideas just in a little bit. But first, I want to talk about, how do we actually measure, is your group effective? Because like anything, I mean, if you're a leader who has a team, you look at your stats and you measure, is my team performing well? Am I increasing my sales month after month, right? There's measures to know if you're effective. There's also measures to know if your group is effective. And here's how I measure it. You could create whatever measurement you want, but how I measure it is, are the posts in my group coming more so from somebody else, or are they coming from me? So if your group can run itself without you being there, that's the measurement of an effective group. So I've been keeping track of my posting statistics month after month to see kind of where things are at. And probably, I've only been doing this about 6 months, just keeping track of it. I'd say at the beginning, it was kind of like, I was like 75% of the posts, and then other people would be 25%. And then now, just last month, when I've run my statistics, I had over 90 posts in my group, and approximately 30 or 35 or something in that range of those posts were from me, and the rest were from my customers. So approximately 2/3 of the posts in the group are coming from my customers, writing reviews, sharing what they're eating, sharing what they're excited about. And why that's important is because they're doing the work for me. I have so-and-so posts that they love the sweet garlic chicken, and this is how they made it. And now, you know, my regular customers are going to see that, and they're going to be like, I want to try that on my next order. It gets people excited, right? So there's a measurement of how your group is going to be effective is your community engaging in that group? Because first of all, if they're posting what they're eating, then I know they're using their product. Second of all, it gives other people ideas on what they might want to order that they may have not ever thought of ordering that item before or thought about it. So I'm going to talk about how I did that, but kind of just to give you a snapshot of what that looks like. And the other mindset piece I would say is that you have to think of it like a marathon and not a sprint. This is not get a whole bunch of people into my group. How am I going to get my group to be 1,000 people or whatever you want? It's not about that, because you are going to, you're going to not have the best quality if you have people in there who aren't actually engaging or want to be there. So I actually will sometimes go through the members and I'll look and I'll be like, is that person actually still interested, or do they want to be there? And sometimes I remove people or I'll message them just to check in. But, you know, sometimes people can get into the trap of like adding a bunch of people in or whatever, and they don't really want to be there and they haven't invested the time to develop the relationship with them. So think about it like a marathon, not a sprint. Don't try and get a whole bunch of people in your group, but build it over time. Okay. The other mindset piece, just before I talk about how I invite people into my group, is that you have to be of the mindset that your group is like the best place on Facebook to be. They want to be in your group because you're going to provide them value. And if you don't have it in your mind that you're providing your customers value in that group, it will be very difficult for you to invite people authentically to come and be a part of your community. And it's not just, yeah, I have a great place to be. You actually have to provide valuable content for people, right? So whether that's sharing your meals or sharing recipes or whatever that is.
Bree, can I just pop in? I've got someone trying to get in, Patricia Roselli. Can you let her in?
Yeah.
Sorry, thank you.
I have Whitney trying to get in, but I don't see a Patricia.
All right, keep going. I'll message her. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, just wave at me when that happens, and then I'll look at the waiting room again. Sorry, let me just look at my notes again. Yeah, so you have to have it that your group is something that provides value, right? And that what you're providing does have value for people, because ultimately they're going to leave your group if you just post a bunch of sales things, right? So coming from that place, you're building content that contributes to people. Where do we start with building a group? So great, I have all this content, and great, I'm sharing my recipes and I'm doing lives and all of that stuff. I hear that a lot, but how do I actually get people into my group who want to be there? So I'm going to give you a few places to look. First is going to be obviously your cooking class leads. So if you're consistently booking and doing cooking classes, that's where you're primarily going to get your leads. So how I do that is I have a post in the group That's like a main way, but people aren't generally going to join just because of a post. So I also have one-on-one conversations with people throughout the cooking class. So whether I am in a comment thread with them and I'm thanking them for their order, I'll always mention my group. Or whether I'm in a private message with them, thanking them for their order, then I'll also mention my group. I'll say, hey, make sure you join my group because I'm going to post consistent recipes. You're going to see ideas for using your products. And remember to come back and post how you used your products because you're going to get entered into a draw that I do every month. And I do that every month in my customer group. Anybody who contributes gets entered into a draw. So how I talk about it is like, that's where they want to be. Now our cooking class is done. That's where they want to be. And I don't just post it. I talk about it. I share about it. And I share about it multiple times throughout the class. Okay. The second way I get people into my group is referrals. So asking my regular customers who they think would love our products or want to be in there. Again, through cooking classes. I'm not a particular fan of like add your friends and I'll do a draw. Like I think some consultants do that. It's just not my preferred method because again, you get people in there who don't necessarily want to be in there. So authentic leads. And then the other way that you can have authentic leads is to ensure that your personal social media account is also set up with your VIP group funnel. So I'll show you this after when I'll screen share, but when you go to your personal, like just your personal page on Facebook, there's an option to add links. There's also an option at the very top of your page to add a link. So making sure that you have a funnel for people to find you, right? So a funnel of where do you want them to end up? I always want people to end up in my group. That's where I want them to live. Okay, there we go. Okay, got her in. So I'll show you that after. And then, yeah, of course, your who do you know list, your social circles, and who do they know, right? So it's consistent over time of asking and sharing about it and providing those leads, but thinking about your group as the end of a funnel. You're always wanting people to end up in your funnel. Unless you have a different end of your funnel. That's the end of my funnel. I want them in my group. Okay. So now we have some people in our group and that's great. But now what? Like, how do I actually run the group effectively? So I'm going to give you some tips here. And just so you know, I also have these written out and I'm going to email them out to everybody who registered as well. So you'll have a copy of kind of what I covered. But of course, you're welcome to write down anything I say. So the question is, I have these people in my group now, like now what, right? How do I provide value? So I always kind of do a lot of reflecting. Like if I was to scroll through Facebook and I saw that post I just wrote, would I be like, that's a really annoying post, scroll past it, or would I get value of it? Okay. And often if I'm trying to do something really fast and schedule something really fast and I don't do a lot of time to think about what I want to write, then usually the content's a little bit spammy. Like maybe it's just like, hey, here's this recipe. And I don't put a lot of thought into how I want that to actually contribute to my customers. So it could be like, hey, here's this really great way to use the new teppanyaki taste test. Have you tried it out? Did you know that this product has however much less sodium than store-bought? I don't know it off the top of my head, but something like that. Something like where your content is actually going to provide a value piece to your customer versus just, hey, check this thing out. Here you go. Okay. So is my content spammy is the first question you want to ask. If it is, take a little bit more time and think about what you want to post. Okay. Only 20% of your posts should be sales driven and 80% of your posts should be something that contributes to your customers. Like recipes, kitchen tips, that kind of thing. Memes, people want to have fun, right? Like they're on social media to have fun, let them have fun. So I posted a video of a play on 90s music. Has nothing to do about food, but it was funny and it got engagement and people loved it. So it's like, it doesn't have to be food related, but it's having fun with people. Go live in your group, but have it be short. People don't watch 30-minute lives unless you've really invited them effectively. So my lives in my group are like 3 minutes. They're like, hey, check out what I just made for dinner. It's really awesome. It was so easy. This is all I did. And then I can kind of do a cooking class plug, like what that looks like. But in my actual lives in my group, I don't do long drawn out things. Incentivize people to participate. I shared that before. Incentivize them to share in your group, to post. So I draw every month from anybody who posts a review in the group. Okay. And then I just give them a meal solution or something. It's not a big deal. But again, it's building the momentum of the group and getting people to use their product. And for those of you who are like, how do you get people in the US? Because that's my question a lot. Incentivize your customers to have US people in your group. So this is a who do they know? So I have a team of my 90% of my team is a US team. I knew none of them prior to us launching in the US. The only reason I have a US team is because I've talked to people about who do they know. And then I got them in the group. And some of those people have been in my group for 3 years and then joined. So it's about who do you know and who do they know and who do they know? And don't worry about them making a purchase or joining your team or hosting right now, but get them to the end of your funnel and get them in your group and provide them value, and they will be your customers and they will be loyal to you. So incentivizing people to have, whether you're in Canada or the US, cross-border people in your group, okay? But ultimately, at the end of the day, ask yourself, with every post, with everything you do and everything you create in your group, am I doing this from a place of contributing to my customers, or am I doing this because I want them to do something for me? Okay. If you're doing it from a place of contributing to your customers, long-term, you will build a group and you will build sales and you will build your business, and it will be sustainable. Okay. So that's what I have for you guys. But I would love to open it up for questions, answers. Happy to share my screen or whatever is best of service to you, or whatever you would like to know. I'm happy to answer that.
I'll ask a question.
Hi, Mark.
Hi. When you said you messaged people in your group that had been there for whatever, what type of message did you message them?
It would be something like, hey, Sue, I know that you joined my group from, if I knew, like, you joined my group from whoever's party. You've been there for a while. I'm just wondering if there's any recipes or there's anything that you need that I could provide you for spicing up your kitchen routine, like something like that. So I kind of like open the door to engage a question, and they'll either respond or they won't. But it's more of just engaging. And sometimes if you look at your members on your group, you can tell like people have deactivated Facebook profiles. So I take them out of my group because I don't want deactivated profiles in there because it takes up space, basically.
Great, thank you. Great presentation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Go ahead, Anita.
So when you start the, hey, post your review, what you've made, and I'll do a draw in the month, what happens if nobody does it?
Well, again, you have to also start from asking people also. So I posted it, and then I also reached out to all of my regular customers that I knew use their products a lot. And I said, Karen, I know that you love cooking, and would you be willing to post a few reviews in my group this month? I'm starting something new. I'm really excited about it, but I just need some people to get it going. So I started with asking people, and I just asked people that I knew, like, I have a personal relationship with them. You're going to do it. It's like, they're going to be yes to it. Okay. But yeah, make the ask first. And then it's one of those like snowball effects, right? Once people see it happening, then then they'll keep doing it. And initially I would also say like, so say Karen posts her review in the group, then I'll go comment. I'll be like, hey, that looks so great. I really love that meal solution. This is how I like to use it. Make sure you give that recipe a try next time. And thanks for your review. I'll make sure to put you into my monthly draw. So then people in the group see like, oh, she's getting entered into something for sharing. And then it's growing every month since I've been in like doing it intentionally. You have to have some intention behind it, not just, hey, here's a post, I'll do a draw, right? So create some intention behind it.
Bree.
Yeah.
Sorry, my train of thought went to a second question, but I'm going to stick to my first one. This is awesome, by the way. You talked about a 6-month tracking where you went from 75-25 to about 35 to 60 or 30 to 60.
Yep.
What would you say were the 1, 2, or 3 top intentional strategies that you did that you feel moved that metric in that direction?
First one is what I just said to Anita. I think it's actually both of those combined. It was like asking people, but then also intentionally commenting on things so that they know if they continue to do this, there's something in it for them. And then the third, I would say, is mentioning it inside of every invite I make to have people be in my group. So when I'm inviting people in a cooking class to be in my group, it's from, this is what you're going to get out of being in it. You're going to get really great recipes. You're going to have fun, but you also get entered into a draw for free stuff every month. All you have to do is eat food and post a picture.
So your review is actually not a review of you as a consultant. It's about a review of using products. It's about just sharing a recipe or an idea. That's really what a review is. Okay, thanks.
Exactly. Because sometimes, like I do a lot of US classes. And so sometimes I'll have people join my group and they join it from a cooking class, but they never actually ordered at the cooking class and they've never used it. Right. So it's more so getting them to see organically how other people are using these products versus like the store advertising all these things for them. It's like I don't know, being in, I don't know, whatever store. I never leave my house anymore, so I don't go to stores, but you're in like whatever store and if you had a whole bunch of customers there, also doesn't happen now, but you have a whole bunch of customers there and they're like, hey, I really love that and that and that and that and that, right? It just creates momentum for people and it's exciting, right?
Like I feel like I've got some customers that have been sending me pictures and ideas, and I think they're missed opportunities, that those are those people that could be the first call outs for those reviews.
Those are the ones you want to then say, that looks awesome. Hey, would you be willing to post that in my group? I'm starting something really new. I'm starting something new. I'm going to do a giveaway. So post and share so people see how you used it and what you loved about it.
I had one other question related to sending private messages versus public messages to people thanking them for their order. I'm in another VIP group for another direct sales company, and this person always thanks and names an individual customer publicly in her entire group. Thanks for your order, Amanda. I hope you're gonna love XYZ. I just think that that's not okay to post a public thank you for a personal customer.
I mean, it's to each their own. Like my own opinion, I don't do that. The only time I ever do that is if I'm running like a mystery host party in my group or something. And then I'll be like, thanks, blah, 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 for your orders. You're all entered into the draw. Like something like that. But I don't do individual ones in my VIP group. I do them in my cooking classes because I funnel them into my VIP group that way. But I don't do them in my VIP group.
I've got a question, Bree, and thank you. Very super informative. So when you talk about not being spammy and salesy, and I love that, can you give me, so basically you would never post anything and say, this is 1075. You are not, there are no sales numbers that you would ever put on a post.
So, well, sometimes. So like I said, the rule is like 80-20. So 20%. So
Okay.
inside my 20%, there would be like, I would post, this is the new taste test. I'm really excited about it. This is how much it is. I'm going to be putting in a local Victoria order in the next few days. If you're not local, this is how you order. Like, so I do those, but they're not like I don't post like, hey, this is what I made for dinner, and then here's the link to teppanyaki. Like, I don't do that. It's like, hey, this is what I made for dinner. It was so good. I loved it. What were you guys cooking in your kitchen tonight? And then if somebody asks, I'll give them the link, but I'm not posting it because it's too much sales. And if people want it, they're going to ask me.
And I love that. And I'm glad, I was hoping that was going to be your answer. Same thing, like when I'm posting recipes, I see other people posting a delicious recipe. This is what I use. And then a link to every product. And that just has never sat well with me. I don't do that. So good. I'm glad that was your answer. It's awesome.
I have 2 questions. Thanks, Ange, for inviting me, by the way.
Sure.
My 2 questions, Bree, is there a rule on how often you should post? I see some consultants like scheduled 3 posts a day, every single day. I know that whole you said about the engagement. I guess if you had a group that was super active, would that kind of be the rule? If they're still posting 80% of your posts and you're only posting 20. So if your group is just starting, cut back on your posts, try and match that ratio.
I don't think there's really a rule. You have to figure out what works for your customer base and also what works for you, because it's a lot of social media to manage. What I personally do is I have 1 post a day, and it's not like, I'll just show you. I can kind of give you an insider look at what I do. I just have to screen share just a second.
We're all joining your group, by the way, Bree, just so you know.
I know, I do get a lot of consultants, but I had to cut that off because it doesn't work. Okay, VIP group. Okay. Can you see my Facebook right now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So this is my VIP group. I have like that's my pin post talking about, okay, you get a ticket for sharing a review, referring a friend. You get 5 tickets if you book an event with me, or 10 if you join my team. That's what my incentive is. And then like, look, first post, somebody posted a recipe, posted what they did. Let me post this in chronological. So like that was this morning. This is like a funny post, right? There's no sales. It's just, it's a meme, but it has product information, but it's not focused on selling.
Okay.
Okay.
And then
review. Again, that's somebody Lisa posted in the consultant group. There's another.
My other
review.
question is about language. I recently saw a post, I think it was on the Epicure Marketing Facebook group, around words you shouldn't use because it lowers your algorithm. Do you even pay attention to that? Like, so for instance, if you're putting in a group order, like a bulk buy or bulk order, and you're offering porch pickup, how do you word it without using all those words that are
let me
the
find a
taboo
post.
words?
I think ultimately, yeah, I've seen that post. I think really if you're coming authentically from being a contribution to your customers, you won't use language like that. Like, this is me talking, this is just my voice, right?
Yeah.
There's no salesy anything in it. Okay, that's the music one, nothing to do with food. So it could be food related, listening while cooking, right? So it's just, you're bringing humor to it. I talked about a book I read. Like, there is a promotional post. So I'm talking about the fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, like I've booked a fundraiser out of this. So, and I still have a call to action. Tell me something you're passionate about. What are you considering raising money for? Right. So it's still making it about them, but it's also promotional in that I'm sharing about the fundraiser opportunity. I was looking for something specific and now I got distracted. What was I looking for?
Can I ask you, while you something popped in my head while you scrolled that? So are you getting some of these posts just from random consultants? Like, for example, that Cindy McLean or whatever her name was, with her permission, or is that one of your team members? Like, are we able to share stuff like that too if we see somebody share a success story?
Like, yeah, like if they like she posted that in the consultant group and said it's fine to share.
That's what I mean. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you are doing that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So most of those, so any of the things that I'm like sharing that are another consultant, I'll say, you know, this isn't like the spinach one. It was like, this isn't my photo, it's somebody else's photo, but
Okay.
they've given permission to share it.
Yeah.
So it's
Perfect.
posted in the consultant group, or some verbiage or something like that.
I was wondering if you used those over there as opposed to just from your own personal team and stuff. So that's good. Because there's some good stuff in there.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great place to drive content, but ultimately like it's like, there's like, I'm sharing about why I joined, right? So it's a story post, but like I got pretty good engagement on it. Like I'm looking for a delivery post. I don't think I've posted one in a while. I haven't done a group order in a while.
I only ask because I have quite a few local customers who like to top up, you know, with 3 type items and would prefer to do porch pickup. So how do I word that?
Oh, that's one asking for referrals. Just to give you kind of an idea. I don't know if I can find, it might be too far back. I haven't done one in a while. But you can see how much, you know, engagement that I'm getting, right? Like quite a bit of engagement and interaction and people who see the posts. I don't know. I don't think I can find one. It's probably too far back. But now that I'm here, I'll just show you kind of like where you can look. So you can see all your insights here. You can see the growth of your group here. You can see what's group quality. Oh no, you can see your engagement. So what engagement has gone up. I have 675 active members, meaning 300 and something aren't seeing particular like the posts consistently. So just good places to look.
Bree, on this call, are we allowed to ask, and you tell me no if we can't, because it might open up a whole ball of worms, and maybe this is another call. Can we ask any online virtual cooking class questions while we're doing this, or is this strictly VIP groups?
No, you can ask whatever you want of me.
I mean, you
have my time. So
okay, yay, perfect. So I'm curious then, how you do yours compared to what Epicure is recommending in that, and I don't know, maybe you were one of the ones that they made the best practices out of to create that guide. So do you stick to pretty much the 3 days? Day 1 is posting, day 2 is posting and alive, and day 3 we wrap it up like our Epicure has kind of trained us. And I'm curious whether you are or aren't what you are doing, and how many posts a day do you do in your online classes? Like what's too much?
I'll just show you what I do in my online classes. How about that?
I would love that.
Let me look at this one. Okay, so I start with my setup posts, which is what's Epicure. It's a catalog post with the taste tests and the specials, and it's a welcome video, which I pre-record.
Okay.
And then I have, so when is this party? This is on the 18th. So 3 days before I have turned your notifications on. 2 days before I have set up your online account. The day before I have, this is like, welcome, tell me who you are, basically.
Awesome.
I have another what is Epicure post because they may not have seen the other one, which is fine. And then
that's the video, right? That's the video with Amelia, that one there?
Yeah, it's the Inspire Clean Eating video.
Perfect.
And then I talk about the meal kits. So I just do 3 product spotlights. So meal kits, rotisserie chicken, and lettuce wraps.
Okay.
So it's just 3 ones. And then my party day, it's a roll call post, a game post, and a meme. So there's only like really 3 posts. And then it's a 1 hour reminder post. And then I do my live, and I have a post about meal plans. I talk about Epicure and the Never Ever list. I talk about pantry swaps. I talk about the multi-purpose steamer. And then I have a final post, which is a call to action for hosting or joining. And then one follow-up post, which is like, these are how you be involved. You can shop, you can save, you can profit, you can raise.
Okay.
Basically. That's it. Like, it's my party day. And then the next day is like, here, come join my group, or follow me on Instagram, or follow my page. Here's a party poll. Here's a reminder. Here's a reminder. Here's a reminder. That's
Love it. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Bree, that was helpful, but that was a bit fast for me. Is that something that is easy to look up? Is it posted on Epicure University, that
It's
kind
my
of
template.
structure?
It's just my template. I don't have it posted anywhere.
But this is recorded, Ellen, so you can go back through it.
Okay, all right, thanks. Sorry.
Any other questions while I have my Facebook and everything open, or my screen sharing?
How long I could talk to you. I'm going to book a private one-on-one with you. What about, how long is your live on, I'm going to, Ellen put a question in the chat. That's great. So for your cooking class, how long's your live? And then in your VIP group, roughly how many quick live posts per engagement? How many times would you do a live? Like, hey, this is my dinner in your VIP group. And how long is your cooking class on your online virtual?
My
Once.
cooking class on my online parties is between 10 and 15 minutes,
Wow. Okay.
because people will not watch me for 30 minutes.
I agree. Can I ask it another question? I don't want to monopolize everybody's time, but okay. So I have to stop talking so much. Literally. Now, in that, Bree, then would you, so you're making enchiladas. Do you have the sauce maybe already done? The beans and everything? Like, do you have all that stuff prepped? Then they're just seeing you toss it and roll it. Is that what you're doing to speed it up?
Well, sometimes. So like enchiladas is more like a 15-minute demo. That one I can't really do in 10 minutes.
Okay.
That one I cook the sauce. But I have, like, if I'm going to do chicken enchiladas, I have the chicken pre-shredded and pre-done. Because that's what we would normally eat, is chicken enchiladas. So it would have like the chicken pre-done, and then really you're just showcasing the sauce, and you're putting it together. And then I personally bake it in my oven. So I don't show them baking it. I'm just like, I'm going to put it in my oven for 10 minutes and then I'm going to broil it. That's
okay.
But I don't show them that. Like I show them, like, here are the really quick things, and like, they don't need to see, I don't know, like if I'm going to make a salad with it, like they don't need to see me cutting cucumber. You know what I mean? It doesn't forward things in terms of the sales. So I think about, what are the things I actually want to showcase? What are actually going to have people buy? Cutting a cucumber, probably not. I mean, maybe it will if you're focusing on the knife, but
or the mandolin, but I know what you're saying. Okay. Whatever you're doing, keeping it to that 10 to 15 minutes. Cause I agree, like, man, oh man, my very, very first one, like when I went live in April, and it's the first time I ever went live in my life, like it was 40 minutes. And now they stayed on because I think they didn't want to hang up. But I know at the end of that, like, it was a cooking class, like I was in their kitchen, and I just knew that wasn't working. I've shortened it up since, but definitely not 10 or 15 minutes, but that's good to hear because I know I need to.
Yeah. 10 to 15 minutes is my max. And then I'm like, hey, I'm going to finish this up. I'll post a picture for you guys after. We're going to eat our dinner. Right. And so I kind of create it like, it's also a business plug, because it's like, look, this is so easy. You could do this while you're cooking your family dinner.
Right.
Which is that is how I do my business.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
And then, so your other question, and
Ellen's the other question. Yeah.
How often do you do them compared to posts?
Yeah.
So I pre-schedule a month's worth of content at a time. So all of my content for February is pre-scheduled, based on that rule of 80%, 20%. And then as I do things through the month, like I'll come in and pop in and do like a few lives. usually it's like, I just did a cooking class and I'm like showing them this is what's for dinner. It's kind of whatever. I don't pre-schedule them. It's just kind of what time permits for me.
So Bree, I just put another question in. When you said you're actually going to eat your dinner, so so do you do a set time for the cooking class parties then? Like at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock when you normally would have dinner?
5:30 is my cooking class time, unless it's like really doesn't work for them. But in that case, my demo is generally shorter, and I just make it work, and I cook for John and then I cook the kids something different. But I generally am just like, this is when I do my cooking classes. They're at 5:30, and if somebody's East Coast, that's 8:30 for them. It's an okay time.
I was just booking one for 7 o'clock because I figured they're all eating themselves at home and they're going to be sitting down for a glass of wine at 7 to kind of relax for 20 minutes to tune in. And I thought it was going to be like 40 minutes. So this is really helpful. It will totally shift how I do this.
Good. Any other questions?
Bree, I just want to say that's actually amazing that you do them at 5:30 because everyone's home and they're hungry. And when do we buy the most groceries?
Yeah.
When we go grocery shopping, they always say to eat before you go grocery shopping. If you're catching people when they're already hungry and you're making something that looks scrumptious, that's brilliant.
And it's only 10 to 15 minutes, right? So it's easier for people to be like, okay, I'm going to watch this or put it on while I cook or whatever, right? But it's easier to kind of enroll people in watching that versus it being like, oh, I have to sit down and watch this 30 to 45 minute video, which can be great, but it just doesn't work for me, it doesn't work as a mom. It's like, I don't even have 30 minutes to sit down and do anything for myself, let alone watch a video.
I have a question. You mentioned about a link from your personal page to your group.
Oh yeah. Let me show you that.
How do I find that?
So right here at the top of your personal page, you can add whatever you want here. The thing you don't want to add is don't link it to your Epicure website because you take them out of your sales funnel to the Epicure website, which is fine if you don't have any other sales funnel. But for most of you, if you're on this call, you're going to have something like a VIP group or a page or like, so where do you want to direct people? I have them directed, I'll just show you, to my campsite bio. So it's like a link tree. So it takes them here and then they can do whatever they want from here. They can go to the catalog, they can go to my Facebook group. They can join my team, subscribe to my newsletter, ask me for information, or they can go to my my blog. I just bought a domain and I redirected it, but it's just a campsite bio and you can get them, they're free. So you can get that or a link tree. They're the same thing.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, you can edit that. The other thing you can do on here is, I don't know if this is new, but so make sure you have all your social profiles here, right? And then you can also edit your featured images down here now. I don't know how new this is, but I only recently learned this like last week. So if you go to your page right now, you'll probably see like a whole bunch of, I don't know, old random pictures that Facebook selected, but you can actually go in here and edit this and you can, it might take, my internet's not the best, so this might take a bit, but you can change these around to be whatever you want. So I just have a picture of me and my daughter. And then obviously it gives you like all of your pictures you ever put on Facebook. But if you scroll down, you have to scroll for a really long time if you've been on Facebook a long time, which I've been on Facebook a long time. But if you scroll all the way down, just a second. 2008, so there you go. You have to scroll to the bottom of all of your pictures and then you'll see all of the groups that you're a part of. And all of the pages that you like or are an admin of. And then you can link your group and your page. So I've linked my group and I've linked my business page there.
Oh, awesome.
So now like you can go look at my Facebook, like go to my Facebook, you'll see it. But now I took out all of those other images and I just have like a picture of me and a link to my group and a link to my page, which is also up here, but it's just another way that people see it. And then there, right? So just making sure people know how to find you that don't otherwise know.
So Bree, when you showed your cooking class, I think I saw what's it, Vizzle or Vizly or something. Is that just a similar program to ScentShare? Is that why it looked, okay.
It does the same thing.
Okay.
It's my preferred program.
Yeah.
But it's the same kind of idea.
Okay. I just wondered why it looked different. I don't have ScentShare either. I know many people do. I was just wondering why it looked different than just regular Facebook. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, I'm gonna stop this. Okay, well, if you don't have any more questions, I'll email you out some of the resources that I put together for you guys. And I hope that made a difference for you. I'm always open to feedback. So if you have feedback you would like to send me, feel free to message me on Facebook or email me or whatever. Always happy to hear if there might have been something missing or something you could see would be improved. Would love your feedback.
I have one question for you, Bree.
Yes.
And maybe I did miss the very beginning, so my apologies. But so did you teach yourself all this?
I did teach myself all of this, yes.
Okay.
I was not born like a Facebook master. I taught it all to myself.
You don't have a background in tech?
I do not have a background in tech.
Well, that's good. That's even more promising for the rest of us.
Yeah, and I think really like anything, like even just learning your business, you have to be willing to be a newbie at it, right? And practice it and practice it and practice it and figure out what works for you, because what works for me isn't going to be the same thing that works for you, right?
Yes.
So it's very easy to get caught up in what other people are doing and try and be like, oh, I want to do that because they're doing that and it works. It doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So take inspiration from people and what they're doing, and then figure out what works for you, for your life, for your business, because it has to be sustainable for you and it has to be something you're going to be, you'll continue to do and continue to learn, right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome.
Bree, that was absolutely incredible. And just thank you so much again for taking your time. And yeah, just so super informative.
Yeah, you're very welcome.